Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Comic Book Geezers with a sad heart that I'm here to report the death of one of the legendary comic book artists of all time, the great John Victor Romita Sr., born January 24th, 1930. He leaves us on June 12th, 2023, at the ripe age of 93. Passed away in his home in his sleep in New York City, probably the most peaceful way that it could possibly happen, reported by his son, John Romita Jr. What a career this guy has had. One of the most beloved comic book artists of all time, especially based on what he did with Marvel Comics, but he had worked for Atlas Comics early on, DC Comics. He did all sorts of different characters and different series. Just to go through his list of accomplishments, I mean, he worked on some romance stuff at DC Comics back in the 50s and 60s. For Marvel Comics, of course, he made his big break with The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 39. Yeah, tell me this comic is not going to go up big time. I get a lot of glare there. There we go. The first issue where he would work on The Amazing Spider-Man, replacing, of course, Steve Ditko. Classic covers, classic insides. I'm going to show you a bunch of things here from The Amazing Spider-Man run. There's so many other series that he works on, of course, but just to name some more, he did some stuff on Captain America in the late 60s into the early 70s. He did lots of war comics for Marvel as well. He did Daredevil, issue 12 through 19 in the 60s, late 60s. He worked on Doctor Strange. He worked on the Fantastic Four for a bit. Did some stuff with the Hulk. Lots of, like I said, war and Western comics, Marvel Tales, basically jungle action, some horror stuff. He did Tales of Suspense. He did some work with various different offshoots of X-Men and Spider-Man. He was kind of like the go-to guy. Did tons of covers, did lots of inking too, but mostly is remembered for his great artwork and just, the guy who, even though Ditko is the one who with Stan Lee created Spider-Man, I think the artwork of Romita on the Spider-Man comic is what really made Spider-Man so iconic. So like I said, this was the first one he worked on. But, other ones, and again, I just grabbed a bunch. First appearance of the Rhino. So many of those classic Spider-Man villains came at the hands of Romita, the Shocker. How about Tangling with Kazar? How about J. Jonah Jameson inside the armored suit there, right? How about this classic iconic cover? Mysterio. The first ever Spider-Man comic I ever owned, and this is the actual issue, number 69 with the Kingpin. Always loved the way he depicted a lot of my favorite Spider-Man villains and characters, the images I always remember is Romita's. Kingpin being one of them. Tangling with the Iceman. Gwen Stacy on the cover there, of course. The Prowler. Another iconic cover with the Green Goblin. Doctor Strange. The first appearance of the Gibbon. How about a couple tangles with the Hulk? Look at that. Always very good at drawing the Hulk as well. As much as I loved his Spider-Man depiction, he always did a great Hulk as well. There's another one. The second part of that. One of my favorite issues and one of my favorite covers of all time. Now, he did not do the insides here, but there he is doing the battle with Luke Cage. And, of course, how about this iconic cover? Right? The amazing two-part story, the death of Gwen Stacy and the Goblin. Iconic. And how about another iconic cover? So, it goes without saying, so many classic covers, so many classic heroes, so many classic villains, and even the artwork on the inside just absolutely amazing. So like I said, it's the whole cast of characters. His depiction of like Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane Watson and Harry and J. Jonah Jameson. I mean, the whole Aunt May. Just when you think about all of these characters, and Peter Parker as well, his alter ego, you just, whenever I envision it in my mind, it's John Romita Sr.'s renderings that come to mind. That's, to me, that's just the classic artist working on a classic book. And you know, he's obviously when he left us, he was 93, so he's been out of drawing comics for quite a while now. But I also remember his Daily News, the Spider-Man comic strip that was in the Daily News, the newspapers back in the late 70s, I guess, mid 70s, late 70s. I forget exactly when that ran, but I remember those as well. He did that as well. So, yeah, just a sad loss, but a long, great life. Kind of like all these guys who lived long lives and drew and delighted us for many, many decades. I think we can all look back on the life and the work and career of John Romita Sr. with a smile on our face. And though it's sad that he's no longer with us, we can be looking at his work for decades going forward, and I think that's what it's kind of all about. So thanks everybody for watching, and go break out some of your old Spider-Man or Captain America or whatever comics you have that John Romita Sr. worked on, and go and marvel once again in the delightful images that he and the rest of the staffs of Marvel or DC Comics had put together for us. And remember all the good stuff. Thanks for watching. I am Pete Pardo from Comic Book Geezers. Rest in peace, John Romita Sr. We love you, John. We love your work. We'll treasure it always. Thanks for watching, everybody. Comic Book Geezers. Bye-bye.